The fiery battle between Taehyun and the school's kingpin seemed to be reaching its climax as Joomja lay paralyzed on the arena floor to the astonishment and bewilderment of the bald-headed bodyguard. The old man was shocked, for he initially couldn't fully grasp Taehyun's abilities until he activated the overwhelming paralysis skill on his master. However, never would a hair of Taehyun Corporation's S-rank like Joomja easily succumb to an unknown underdog who had just awakened. He not only possessed strength and combat skills, but also something else decisive. That very thing turned the tide when, on the brink of defeat against Taehyun, the cunning figure resorted to the aid of a violet mana stone. He was revived, continuing the frenzied battle in the form of a colossal dragon-headed monster. Taehyun was relentlessly countered by him, and he decided to use his wits to resist, though he wasn't sure of the odds. But at this moment, there was no choice but to engage in direct combat, for he couldn't escape. From Joomja transforming into a raging demon, his fiery roar was enough to engulf this entire place in flames. Taehyun had no more time to contemplate. He and his crystalline arm plunged straight into the vortex of dark magic, intending to directly attack to inflict damage upon the powerful demon. However, the outcome was evident. The disparity in levels proved to be the greatest challenge. No matter how sturdy the layer of crystal was, it couldn't withstand the pressure from the tremendous power emanating from him. The layer of stone surrounding Taehyun's arm shattered into 100 pieces. Not only that, but he was also propelled far away by the force, hitting the ground like being near an exploding bomb. Moreover, Taehyun was struck by the very shards from his own hand as he fell, with hundreds of stones flying innocently towards him. This phenomenon not only caused no damage to the enemy, but also subjected him to full counter damage. He looked like an ant lying motionless under an elephant's foot. This scene seemed to foreshadow the gruesome death Taehyun would endure for the crime of daring to duel with the deceitful Joomja. Even his close aide, Hundo, was stunned by this sight. It was the first time the old man had witnessed the true form of the skill that his master possessed, because normally it would be very difficult for him to fully utilize his own strength. With his S-rank power and high-level skills, he also needs support to unleash like this. The old man suspected something fishy here. There's no way Joomja could activate that form on his own. Could it be that just now his master used it, a mana stone amplifier? That thing is extremely dangerous and harmful, as it is made from refining mana stones originally belonging to monsters. When the owner utilizes that amplification feature, it temporarily amplifies the mana within the user's body. So if that supplementary stone, the current master can fully utilize his S-rank power, it's something he has never done before because no opponent has ever pushed him to activate the stone, not even high-level adversaries. But the issue at hand seems to be no longer simple. Anything powerful comes with its downside. If the master doesn't know when to stop in time or loses control, it will lead to unforeseeable consequences. Hundo panicked and intervened. Master, you should stop. Are you planning to kill him? Please stop now. The magic in your body is too much already. If you continue to exert your power, your blood vessels will burst because uncontrollable magic is raging inside you. The old bodyguard showed great concern for his master's safety. However, Joomja at this moment was nothing less than a bloodthirsty villain. There was no way he would heed the cautious advice and stop in time. On the contrary, he unleashed a ferocious blaze towards Hundo. Fortunately, the old bodyguard managed to dodge the lethal blow in time. Otherwise, that blaze would have turned him into a blazing torch. He couldn't believe his master would attack him like that. Surely his master had lost control of the dark nature of that stone. Silence, how dare a lowly bodyguard like you give me orders? Joomja sneered. You're starting to provoke me. This loser has humiliated me. Do you think I'll let it slide so easily? No chance. Joomja's words were laced with bitterness and resentment, his ego wounded by the humiliation of defeat. Taehyun looked at him with a mixture of fear and disgust. Not only was he a schoolbully who preyed on the weak, but he was also a ruthless individual, consumed by anger and thirst for victory at any cost. He was willing to attack even those on his side if they opposed him. While Taehyun was still lost in thoughts of the demon within him and contemplating his imminent demise, he suddenly turned to unleash his rage upon him, catching him off guard. You, go die, died Taehyun, you miserable wretch. With a roar, he struck him with all his might, causing the ground to explode and fractures to spread like an earthquake had just passed through. Seeing the situation, the old bodyguard couldn't stand idly by any longer, even though he knew intervening might result in his own death at the hands of his master. He still wanted to salvage the situation because things had spiraled out of control. This isn't good. Just as I thought, he's losing control. His mind is in turmoil. How can I help him escape from this madness? Although he hadn't figured out a foolproof plan, it seemed like Hundo should intervene to save Taehyun first. A demon's punch had nearly destroyed this place, with the floor punctured by a deep hole for a frail-looking youth like him. Would he even survive? Hey, Taehyun, are you still breathing? Give me your hand. Hurry. I'll stop the master. You should run away before things get worse. Quickly, give me your hand, I'll stop the master. Run as fast as you can. Hundo's echoing cries suddenly made him seem overly kind-hearted, but his good intentions were repaid with a bloody nose. It seemed Taehyun had been reduced to nothing, swept away in a cloud of dust. Who would have thought he was still alive and even had the strength to fight back like this? You're repaying kindness with malice, aren't you? I tried to save you, and this is how you treat me. What are you saying? Run away now. You're talking nonsense. After you instigated this battle, you're acting noble. Poor me. It's true. There's nothing surprising about it. I admit that S rank is truly powerful, the pinnacle of strength, being hit by it quite a bit. The recovery time is long and costly, but it doesn't mean I'll lose and give up running away. As he spoke, Taehyun finished 3 vials of restorative potions, swiftly recuperating his stamina and mana. When the medicine began to take effect, his entire body emitted a glow enveloped in a predatory aura. It's time for me to take this fight seriously. Putting aside the thrilling developments of the 3rd round of the match, at the headquarters of the Korean Players Association, there was also a heated debate among those in power. After the meeting with the students to identify the most potential warriors, Deputy Director Taehyun returned and provided a detailed report to President Ji Jinhui about what he had discovered. Upon hearing about the awakening energy levels of the 2 formidable figures of the school, the president was also shocked. He marveled at the abilities of these 19-year-old students. What? 1,900 and 2,300. Is there a mistake? How can it be so high? No, there's no mistake, sir, replied Taehyun. Joomja is 1,900 and Aang is 2,300. There's no doubt about it. Both of them are S-rank awakened beings. Nearby colleagues nodded in agreement, their eyes wide and mouths open at the awakening indices reported for the students. They couldn't believe it even for an S-rank. Having a power level of 1,900 units without formal training clearly placed him at the level of a professional A-rank player. Was he really on par with Japan's saintly girl? This realization filled them with immense pride. For so long, the association hadn't found anyone with such potential. Japan had always been one step ahead of them. Therefore, everyone in the room was very pleased with this news. Aha, finally, our Korea has a player on par with Japan's saintly girl. According to rumors, the saintly girl led and guided players in Japan. She was incredibly formidable, with stats exceeding 2,500. Awakening at the age of 19, she surprised the entire awakened community worldwide. The more Taehyun heard about it, the more he couldn't believe what he had seen at the school, especially the statistics related to the mysterious student Taehyun. Indeed, even if Japan's saintly girl were a monster, she would only surpass the level of 2,500. How could there be a comparison with the awakening stats of that student, 5,996? He was enraged when he tried to use his keen-eyed skills dozens of times, but still couldn't see through the hidden potential of that student until the last attempt. What he saw was that staggering number. Could it be an illusion, or did he measure the stats wrong? It couldn't be possible. But regardless, I can't ignore this matter. That number is truly remarkable. If it's not an illusion and I didn't misinterpret it, this could be the key to a new situation. He might be the mysterious factor among the potential players here, or he could be some kind of dangerous entity. I have to investigate this myself. While the association's deputy director, Taehyun, wants to personally investigate Taehyun's abilities to see if he's some kind of supernatural being in the room where he fought Joomja, unexpected events unfolded. Despite the bodyguard Hundo's ability to perceive the potential of others, this time he completely failed to recognize Taehyun's hidden skills. After being struck by the fiery demon like a bolt from the blue, he thought the kid had gone to meet his ancestors. However, Taehyun managed to stand up, regaining his strength as if he hadn't been injured before. Strands of red mana surrounded his body, and after that signal, they surrounded Joomja in the shadow of the demon. Numerous questions arose in his mind, but even if he had 10 times the courage, he wouldn't dare to approach to prevent or save his master. He just received a fierce blow to his face, leaving him sitting stiff like a statue, watching Taehyun turn the tables on his master. How could he possibly do that? The mana streams overwhelmed the strength of his master, as if strangling the monster to death. Joomja was even more panicked now, screaming, How can this happen? I don't believe it, and I'll never accept it. How could I lose to a failure like you? You dog Taehyun, I'm the rightful heir of the Taehyun conglomerate. I'm an S-rank, and a despicable dog like you, at the bottom of society, dares to, you must die. Joomja roared furiously, his pride fueled by the invincible power he bestowed upon himself, as well as the prestigious lineage of the Taehyun conglomerate. However, to Taehyun, it meant nothing, regardless of being an heir or an S-rank. It didn't matter to him. Because you know why. This is the power of a king. Taehyun stated as he used his predatory instincts to strangle Joomja and drain his mana. The initially fragile red threads were now enhanced with power, transforming into the reflection of a powerful king. Despite being an S-rank adversary like Joomja, he had to cower in fear before the wrath of sovereignty. His golden mana light also dwindled, now resembling weak strands of blood on his arm. From a colossal yellow demon drained to exhaustion, Joomja was now on the verge of collapse, fearing being crushed under the looming shadow of the Demon King. In such a predicament, there was no escape. Once all the elements aligned to activate this skill, Taehyun was nearly unbeatable. What comes in the face of the once arrogant and defiant Joomja. All that remained were fading streaks of red. Outside the school, everything was still peaceful. The sun was gradually setting behind the mountains, its rays of the evening sun streaming through the gaps in the windows, illuminating the closely packed high-rise buildings. And no one could have anticipated it. Right after that moment of tranquility, a horrifying explosion occurred. It happened right in that building, in that room where Joomja and Taehyun were battling for honor. The shattered bricks, the cracked glass panes under immense pressure, and the room exploded, its roof blown off, engulfed in intense flames. Joomja seemed to lie motionless after that pinnacle hunt. He couldn't even keep his eyes open anymore. But Humdo was unharmed. He was kneeling in front of Taehyun, trembling. He too was exhausted. Standing victoriously, Taehyun felt a bit surprised that the bald-headed old man had risked himself to come to his rescue. Initially, he had underestimated the old man. If he hadn't intervened in time, Taehyun's master might have been in serious trouble. How would he explain that to his family? But what surprised him the most was yet to come. Taehyun looked at Hundo, contemplating the situation. Despite the victory over Joomja, he realized that the consequences of this encounter might be more significant than he initially thought. The power he had unleashed was beyond his usual control, and it left him with a sense of uncertainty. "Take me back to the guild," Taehyun finally said. "I need to understand more about what just happened, and I have a feeling that things are about to get complicated." Hundo nodded, understanding the weight of the situation. He helped Taehyun stand up, and together they left the scene of the intense battle, leaving behind the shattered remnants of the room where two formidable forces clashed. "The eye is the one causing trouble, speaking as if I were the one who bullied him. Talk sense, will you? Besides, am I supposed to be afraid of your threats? You, the hair of Taehyun, sound terrifying indeed. But don't worry, I have no intention of killing him. So what do you want now? If you want me not to kill him, that's fine. Instead, you all should pay the price for this forgiveness. Everything has its price, and the price for what he did to me like this cannot be easily overlooked with just a word from you." "Pay the price, huh? Let's see. Anyway, he is the heir of the prestigious Taehyun conglomerate." Taehyun rubs his chin, thinking about what price would be appropriate. Opportunities like this are rare, so he must seize them, setting aside the tendency to rely on his power, his S-rank label, and his domineering attitude. "I figured it out since I've been oppressed. I don't deserve $1 billion in compensation or anything, do I? You find it reasonable, you can go ahead and rob him." While the negotiations for the transaction were still ongoing, outside was a scene of destruction. People panicked and gathered to see what just happened. This place looked as if it had been bombed or struck by a meteorite. In this day and age, anything could happen. The teacher instructed all the students to quickly move back, while the students crowded around, eager to find out what had caused the building to explode. "Hey, what's going on? Did a monster attack?" "No, I think it's more like a prison break explosion. Can you see the fire?" "Probably not." People were speculating left and right, but only Aang recognized what it was. This terrifying magic and fire were undoubtedly the power of Joomja, but who was he in there with? "Oh my god, what scene is this? That scoundrel keeps picking fights with Taehyun all the time. Could it be that he's torturing Taehyun in there, back in the classroom?" They were about to explode, but luckily I managed to intervene in time. It must be the case. The girl's mind replayed the scenes and voices of the two. Joomja laughed loudly. "You pathetic dog. You were so cocky earlier. What do you have to say now? Why are you cowering like that?" Meanwhile, Taehyun folded his hands, begging for mercy, apologizing, pleading to be spared. "Please, forgive me, save me." The teacher reassured the students to stay put and not go there, as it was very dangerous. Someone would come to investigate soon. However, before she could finish her sentence, a young shadow darted past like lightning. She dashed inside with 3 legs and 4 wings to rescue Taehyun because he was screaming desperately. That scoundrel was bullying him, and if she didn't act quickly, he would die. That was her imagination, of course. She looked visibly anxious and frantic. As Aang ran, she blamed herself, realizing she should have kept an eye on those two. It was her mistake. She shouldn't have let them stay alone in the gymnasium. How could that despicable Joomja easily forgive the other guy? It was all her fault. Everything was her responsibility. "Taehyun, I'm coming for you. Hang in there. Please, you have to survive," Aang pleaded inwardly. Burning with determination, she knew exactly how powerful the school boss was compared to her weaker friend. It was like night and day. Just a flick of Joomja's hand could send Taehyun flying dozens of feet, either breaking bones or causing him to cough up blood. But wait, who was coughing up blood? As Aang rushed to the scene, she found herself in the midst of chaos. But the battle seemed to be over, and the person lying unconscious wasn't Taehyun, a supposedly weaker one, but the hair of Taehyun was there some confusion. Taehyun, the supposed underdog, stood with his hands in his pockets, watching the defeated enemy in utter dismay. What was the meaning of all this? The girl stood dumbfounded, initially thinking she was delusional because such a dramatic turn of events seemed impossible. At this moment, just as a barrage of 49 questions was about to burst out, Taehyun intervened and spoke first. Aang was baffled. Taehyun, how did things end up like this? What happened? Who did this? Oh, just in time. I need a witness. No, not a witness. I need someone to help carry him. Taehyun clarified. Aang was still trying to make sense of the situation when Taehyun continued, explaining that they needed to take him to the school infirmary, not the hospital. Taehyun shrugged. I have no idea. I was just passing by and heard a loud noise. I decided to check it out, and I found him lying here. Seems like he fell down the stairs. You know, he has a habit of throwing his head back. Falling down the stairs was bound to happen sooner or later. Fell down the stairs? Come on, that's just a joke, right? Who falls down the stairs and ends up battered like they're about to die? He looks more like he's been beaten up. Aang interjected, but Taehyun cut her off, insisting that he didn't know what happened and that he just stumbled upon the scene by chance. He also warned her not to mention seeing him there to anyone else, as he didn't want unnecessary complications. With that, Taehyun abruptly left, leaving Aang to deal with the aftermath. She couldn't help but feel frustrated at his sudden departure after rushing in to help her friend. Now she had to deal with this debt by taking him to the hospital. Was she crazy or what? Hey Taehyun, stop right there. Explain this to me. Why did you ask me to carry him? Aang called out desperately. But Taehyun had already vanished. She couldn't help but wonder why he had put her in this situation. Indeed, it was typical for someone to cause trouble and then run away, leaving others to clean up the mess. Taehyun had run quite far and was now standing on a hill, hands in his pockets, enjoying the breeze while gazing at his school. Though he felt a bit guilty about Aang, he brushed it off. Luckily, just when he didn't know how to handle the situation, Aang arrived in time to deal with that guy. Now, all he had to do was wait for Taehyun Corporation's response. If they didn't react, he could consider the matter resolved. He wondered if they would agree to pay the 1 billion won compensation. Taehyun's mind was occupied with thoughts of the impending 1 billion won compensation when suddenly the status window appeared again. After each battle, the status window would update the new power status. Let's see what's new. Taehyun, age 19, rank C, strength 30, endurance 32, speed 31, mana 65, charm 5, vulnerability 40, magic 12 out of 65, skills, hunting, rank C, camouflage, rank C, paralysis, rank C, heart of the sovereign, rank C, increase the strength stat of party members, requires 10 mana. There's a new stat, charm level 5. The right hand of the king of grade C is what? Mesmerizing force sounds strange. Am I going to radiate charm and allure like those famous people, you know, the kind that looks handsome, clean, adorable, and exceptionally talented? Why does Joomja have this, though? It's really hard to understand. Even though he may possess mesmerizing force, he seems more hateful than charming. Moreover, instead of absorbing the Heart of Fire's skills, I received the Heart of the King's skills, which increases the strength stats of members. It's really puzzling. It's really incomprehensible that Joomja has this skill too. But whatever, it's actually good. Isn't it better than nothing? This skill also has its special utility. A skill that affects all members is rare. No matter what its rank is, it can be used with various other skills and can be combined with any skill one desires. So the Heart of the King's skill is also good. It's indeed more fantastic than I thought, and the spoils of war aren't bad either. After the fight and analyzing the new skills, the sky suddenly darkened without notice. Taehyun was heading home when he noticed several cars rushing towards him, headlights glaring directly into his face. The blaring horns startled Taehyun, but it seemed like those cars weren't just honking to warn him to get out of the way. Instead, it was an alert that he had been ambushed and was trapped in the middle of the road. The people in the cars quickly got out, approached him, and said, "We found you, student Taehyun." Taehyun initially thought they were dangerous individuals, but it turned out to be Vice President Taewook and members of the Korean Players Association. They had been hunting for clues about the mysterious figure ever since discovering his abilities. Taewook stood in front of Taehyun and said, "I have many questions for you." It's perplexing how this man could be here and how he knew where Taehyun was located to come directly to him. Let's start with the first question. Shall we? "What were you doing at the gymnasium?" So began the interrogation, or rather, the session to learn more about the promising student in the dead of night. Right on the deserted street, it remains uncertain whether he could glean anything from this investigation. However, at that very moment, another man was causing a ruckus, angrily slamming tables and chairs in his castle. As he said, the conclusion to this matter is, "Our family's only son has been injured by someone, and along with that, $1 billion is offered as compensation to that person, as if it's a price tag. Do you want me to handle this matter quietly? Where will the dignity of this family be?" "Yes, it's my fault. I apologize." Hundo trembled in the face in his anger, which seemed to infect the ferocious pack of dogs standing beside him, as they continued to bark and growl loudly, as if echoing their master's wrath directed at Hundo. "Whatever you say, I hope you will do as he wishes." "What are you saying? Just do what he wants? Haha, that's laughable. He's a strong little brat, hitting my child and demanding money from me. It seems quite amusing. But it sounds absurdly unfair. Why should it be like this? We will have to compensate for what he did at the price he demands. In other words, whatever he did to my son, we should do the same to him, and even pay back the principal and interest." "Mr. Chairman, but the other party is still young. We shouldn't do that. This is too cruel." "Shut up. I won't hear a word of this nonsense dog barking here." It seems Hundo has angered Lee Jung-soo, the S-rank player and chairman of Taehyun Corporation. With his background, he won't overlook this matter. Taehyun has offended someone significant, and with figures like these, it's a definite problem. Returning to the conversation between Taehyun and Taewook, a vice president seems quite patient as the stubborn student refuses to answer the question, repeating once more, "What were you doing at the gymnasium earlier?" Taehyun hasn't responded yet because he's still stunned, unsure of what Taewook wants to know. Whether it's about the explosion in the gymnasium or something else in the lecture hall, perhaps he has drawn too much attention to himself. Although this individual is highly renowned, the name Go Taewook is famous. Belonging to the Awakening Association, the opportunity to converse directly with him is quite rare. Even for low-ranking members of the association, it's truly an honor. But if he finds out about my involvement in the incident and starts to take action, then what? One must try to find out. Ahem, if you're referring to the gymnasium, then you're talking about the explosion, correct? Taewook's face shows confusion as he asked again, which explosion? "Oh, you mean the fire over there? That's no big deal. Other authorities will handle that matter soon." "It seems I still haven't received your answer." Taehyun's surprised. It appears he doesn't know anything about the explosion at the school, so he must be asking about the incident in the lecture hall. Repeating the question, "What were you doing at the gymnasium earlier?" This old man is getting tiresome, asking the same question repeatedly, while neglecting what actually needs to be asked. All right, let me hint at it for him. "Well, I thought you must have known about that already. I assumed you'd have conducted your investigations before coming to find me, didn't you? You guys probably here to recruit me, right? Let me tell you up front, it's not going to be easy for me to agree to that." "Haha, recruitment, you dare talk big like that, acting as if you're so capable. What, being this capable still isn't enough?" Taehyun stood there, showcasing his power for Taewook to admire, and his power level had already exceeded what Taewook initially saw. It was initially 5,996, which was already shocking, let alone now that it had surpassed 5,200. This time, he didn't use his skills to conceal his power level anymore. This astonished the entire group from the association. What? Unbelievable. He's even stronger than before, which means the previous number wasn't a mistake or illusion. While Taehyun has just awakened, he has already reached this level. Is he a black tier player? "Taehyun, who are you exactly?" "Never mind that, but what's up with your clothes? It's like you just crawled out of the rubble pile or got beaten up by someone anyway. Tell me if you guys are recruiting me or not." The brief but surprising encounter between Taehyun and the Players Association brought about an astonishing outcome, at least for his mischievous younger cousin. "Oh my god, really?" He said he'll join the recruiting of the top player association in Korea. "Yeah, in about a month, I should start working out now to get some muscles." "Ooh, pinch me someone. Is this for real? Oh, dear brother, you've made me so happy I might just die." Indeed, Taehyun is the divine and illustrious idol of his younger cousin Jae-young, receiving a respectful bow. "Are you teasing someone? No, I genuinely worship him." Taehyun is amused and baffled by his playful younger cousin's reverence since the day he showcased his abilities. However, thinking about it, Taehyun Corporation is undoubtedly skilled in sports. Now, even Taewook seems less skeptical. With just one more month to go, Taehyun plans to focus on training during this time. With everything seemingly resolved, a question remains about the recruitment Taehyun mentioned. Soon after, his phone rings. The unfamiliar caller raised suspicions. Who would call at this hour? Outside the house where he resided, a man in a vest stood observing, seeming to pay close attention to the movements inside. Suddenly, another figure appeared from behind, their appearance wrapped in swaths of white cloth, resembling a post-battle injury or perhaps imitating the style of ancient Egyptian mummies. White-clothed figure ambushed and grabbed the man in the vest, lifting him up and questioning. Why is the Awakening Association's player protecting this house? Being choked makes it hard to speak. Apart from the white-clothed figure, there's another person. A man wearing a black mask and tight-fitting black attire, flaunting his muscular six-pack. No need to guess. They're clearly on the same side. The masked man observes Taehyun's house and thinks he must be one of those recruited this time. The Awakening Association members are keen on promising individuals, but who are we? We are the Black and White Assassin Brothers. He's known as Black, an Awakening Association A-rank player with invisibility and enhanced physique skills. Black remarks that the kid is promising, but he's still inexperienced compared to them. How could he compete with us? The Black and White Assassin Brothers. I'm White, an Awakening Association B-rank player with supreme stealth skills. The older brother stretches out his arms and laughs heartily, remarking, that's right, being skilled but lacking experience just makes you useless. What age are you to compare yourself to us? Let's show everyone what true awakening looks like. Little brother, why so quiet? Are you deaf? The black brother is too busy calling his younger brother, unaware that he's being choked. So how could he respond? Just as he had grabbed the other person's throat earlier, now he finds himself in the same situation. Truly, the one who laughs first may end up being laughed at later. Who the hell are you? Let go of my brother. Who do you think you are? What are you asking? Who am I, you say? The man in black gazes at Taehyun with fascination, like how people look at celebrities. It seems to be the effect of his level 5 mesmerizing skill. That's not important because no matter how fascinated he may appear, he couldn't escape Taehyun's swift knee strike, a blow to the nose, blood spurting everywhere. He lost his nose without achieving anything. Now he has to go back for another cosmetic surgery. If you sincerely wish to know, I will answer decisively in preparation for the destruction everywhere, praying for eternal peace in the world. I am a newcomer to the profession. Inexperienced, as you just mentioned, I don't know who sent you, but seeing blood reminds me of some recent events. During the chaos of the exploding room engulfed in flames and the clash of powers along with the horrified look of old Hundo. 1 billion, this matter indeed must be kept hidden, but I can't decide alone. Ah, I understand that, of course, you can't decide for them, and I'm not that bad either, but uncle, please try to negotiate to help me out. And to prevent the possibility of you betraying me, I have something quite impressive here. Taehyun used magic to create something before the astonished man. Let's connect using this, the promise of the Awaken, a contract formed by Awaken using magic. In case of contract violation, a permanent and random punishment will be issued. The conditions are simple. First, try to resolve the consequences of the gym incident along with the previously mentioned 1 billion compensation. Don't let anyone know about the scuffle between me and your employer today. And true to the contract, Hundo arranged everything. The media and reporters were present at the scene, directly reporting that the gymnasium fire at Taehyun High School was caused by a gas explosion, fortunately, without any casualties. A second condition is related to the mysterious call from an unknown number, while Taehyun was lifting weights and talking to his cousin inside the house. Hello, this is Seol Hundo speaking. I will provide information related to the assassin as promised. Any revengeful action must be announced in advance, so be careful because there are 2 individuals planning to attack you tonight. That's why Taehyun was timely present when the Black and White brothers were lurking on the roof of the opposite house, and he surprised them, leaving them with no chance to strike. Whether they are awakened rank A or B, it doesn't matter much in the eyes of a newcomer lacking experience like Taehyun. But if the black brother wants to fight like that, I'll oblige him with a few tricks of my own. His hands thrust 2 sharp dagger-like blades and continuously attacked Taehyun, along with his skill of invisibility, appearing and disappearing suddenly to ambush his opponent unexpectedly. His technique resembled that of the murderer Taehyun encountered before on the night the giant monster attacked the city. But no matter how cunning or stealthy they can't match someone like Taehyun, a gaming prodigy. The Black and White brothers, are they exceptional or just ordinary black and white? I heard their special ability is invisibility. Just as I thought, their skills aren't anything special. They just fly back and forth, appearing and disappearing, then sneak attack. I'm getting bored with this fight. In the end, besides that hidden ability, what else can people do, right? Well then, let me have that power, thank you. The results are clear. Taehyun received timely news from Hudo and easily caught 2 elusive black and white catfish. Later that night in the city center, the streets were still bustling with traffic. Among them was the car of Hunter Yueyeon, who was on her way home after hearing some interesting news. Sitting in her car, she was talking on the phone with the chairman of the association, Mr. Ji Junwei. Hello, I heard you've already chosen the participants for recruitment, haven't you? This time, it's sure to attract attention from awakening aspirants nationwide, isn't it? Oh, is it that you're hoping for someone to clinch the first position? Is it the S-rank hunter from Busan, Yunbak, by any chance? Haha, no, it's not like that at all. Yunbak is indeed outstanding, but when it comes to who I'm expecting to take the lead, probably. Who is it? If not Yunbak, it's me, of course. Who else? Haha. My younger sister. Actually, it's not to that extent yet. Come on now, why are you still being so difficult? Well then, tell me, who is it that you, Yueong, are most looking forward to? Is it Yunbak, isn't it? Yueong looked out the car window and replied, well, initially, yes, it was like that, until I heard something very interesting. What is it? Is it really interesting? Apart from the S-rank, there's one person who the Deputy Director of Human Resources, Go Taewook, had to personally come and talk to in order to extend an invitation. You don't know about this, aren't you curious? In the end, who is that person? What kind of ability does he have that even Taewook had to come and talk to him? It seems like Yueong is also very curious about this guy's ability. Although his rank is low, he's being specially sought after by Taewook. However, why is that so? His skills seem to fluctuate. Sometimes he can use them. Sometimes not. Occasionally, he experiences situations where he can't apply his abilities like this. Earlier, Taehyun intended to use his hunting skills to drain the weak skills of the two black and white brothers, but halfway through, the demonic aura faded away. It's strange, I don't have enough stamina left. Could it be that I'm overloaded today, so now I can't use my hunting skills anymore? But leaving them lying around here isn't the solution either. It seems like I should call them over to clean up instead. Thinking so, Taehyun called Taewook and the association members to report the situation. Apart from the attack on the awakening aspirants' bodyguards, this matter doesn't stop there. The association members appeared anxious. They never expected the black and white brothers would dare to target our association's awakening aspirants. Not only that, but they also targeted a high school student. They're becoming more and more aggressive and reckless by the day. Taehyun, thank you for calling me. Do you have any idea why these things are happening? Have you found any clues from them? Although I know these two brothers are definitely connected to the Taehyun group, after thinking about it, Taehyun decided not to reveal anything. No. I don't know anymore. Suddenly, I found them suspicious, so I ran out and saw them attacking the association's people and even wanting to deal with me too. Taewook was worried. Could it be that the list has been leaked? Perhaps he should enhance the external protection, even if he increases security. Taehyun knows one thing for sure. The Taehyun group here must have some reason, and he'll likely be bothered for a while. But let them worry about those matters. Right now, the urgent task isn't the Taehyun group, it's his own issue. Why can't he use his hunting skills? It's not simply because of increased fatigue or lack of mana. It's because his physical condition is insufficient, his system is overloaded, and he can't use violence. After dealing with the black and white brothers, everyone returned. Taehyun walked and pondered. Insufficient physical strength means he can't use his skills. Could everyone be experiencing the same thing? In the end, he still needs to improve his physical condition. It's too lazy. Isn't there a way to rapidly increase physical strength without training? Among methods to improve physical condition, one can increase mana by absorbing the skills of monsters, but it requires violence. The second method is to increase mana by absorbing the skills of other awakening aspirants, which also requires violence. Neither method is viable. Damn it, is that the only way? I really don't want to when I'm out of options. The next morning, Taehyun took Jae-young to a place called the Blackhead Center. The name sounds quite ominous. Actually, it's a fitness training center. Simply put, it's a large and professional gym. As the two brothers stepped in, they were greeted by a confident woman named PT. Welcome, this is the best training center in Korea. I'm Yura, the manager here. How can I assist you? Hey bro, let's be real here. This place is for the wealthy, the healthy, and the well-equipped. Are you seriously considering training here? Though I admit you're quite formidable. But where will you get the money to join this place? Don't worry, if you don't have it, there's no need to come here. Yura looked at the two of them, noticing their rustic appearance, lack of money, and youthful demeanor, and she chuckled. Haha, you two? Kids like you shouldn't come here, you know? This is a training center for adults. But before she could finish, Taehyun pulled out his super VIP card and coldly said, register them for me. He flashed the powerful black card, causing everyone to startle. This is the super VIP card of the Alchemist Guild, one of the 4 major members here, he explained in the previous segment. Taehyun had signed a super VIP contract with the Alchemist Guild, so they gave him this card to use when needed. Yura looked back and forth, still unable to understand why a junior high school kid would have a card from a high-level awakening aspirant, or if he himself was that high-level aspirant. If she simply let him in without thinking, there would definitely be some issues. What should she do? As Yura was sweating profusely, not knowing what to do in this situation, a tall, muscular figure stepped out from inside. He squared his shoulders and said, Hey Yura, looks like you're in a bind, huh? Who's making things difficult for you? Ho ho. Who would have thought, hey little brother, just paying money won't get you in here. It seems like this person stepping out wasn't within Yura's expectations, because if he's involved, trouble follows. He's the strongest member here. Kang Chul, a B-level trainer. Though not an awakening aspirant, Kang Chul is a muscle amplifier with the ability to enhance his muscles, a characteristic that can change his appearance at will. Jae-young trembled at the sight of his muscular physique, feeling like he was about to wet his pants. Oh heavens, Kang Chul is so powerful. And that name is so cool. How did he come up with it? But he's too strong. What should we do? Other trainers and trainees inside, upon seeing Kang Chul step out, flexing his muscles and showing off, also sighed. The formidable assassin Kang Chul has appeared once again, bullying the new recruits. It's really pitiful for them. Aha, see the mouse? Feel those muscles twitching, little one. Have you all felt everyone trembling whenever they hear my name? If you obediently leave now, I might overlook it. Otherwise, you'll face these muscles. Taehyun wasn't intimidated by this nonsense. You just ask him. What did you say, you weakling? Kang Chul's arrogant gaze turned into a bullet-like stare. What did you say? Yura covered her mouth in fear, while Jae-young gasped, his mouth agape, unable to stop his brother. Hey, you little brat, you think you're stronger than me, huh? As he spoke, he flexed his muscles even bigger to intimidate them. This must be the first time he's been called weak like this. Taehyun taunted back, challenging him. Well, if you don't believe me, let's make a bet. The loser will pay the membership fee for 1 year, dare to play. Ha ha ha, the cheeky kid hasn't learned his lesson yet. Alright, if that's the case, I'll show you that the name Kang Chul isn't just for show. Prove it then. So the two of them stepped into a battle of life and death, but this type of competition was different from what Taehyun had done before. It wasn't a direct fight, but rather using virtual reality. Taehyun and Kang Chul sat in chairs, wearing devices, and the battle began. Everyone gathered to watch their fight. Some were excited, raising their hands and feet to support. But let's see whom they truly support. Most likely, they were rooting for Taehyun because they were tired of Kang Chul's arrogance, but didn't dare to challenge him. On the contrary, some showed concern because they seemed unevenly matched. Jae-young was both worried and proud. It was his first time witnessing this kind of battle, a virtual reality training system. Virtual reality is like an advanced training course. The rules require players to defeat level B monsters and reach the destination in the shortest time possible. But it's not just that, they also have to carry a maximum weight on their backs. This method is widely used in training centers. But this time he had to face Kang Chul, which put him at a significant disadvantage. The difference in weight and physical strength was a big issue. Being taller and heavier, Kang Chul felt confident that victory was within his grasp. He sneered at his younger opponent. Haha, you foolish kid. Dare to bet against me. Besides taking me a year's worth of membership fees from you, today I'll show you what it means to keep your mouth shut. You're probably going to lose because my skill is for attacking agility. That's agility. Got it? Kang Chul boasted. He possessed a perfect skill in this virtual reality. Furthermore, my maximum weight capacity is also different. Let's see where you'll get the money to pay for a year's membership fee. You're as good as dead, kid. While the brute was both fighting and blabbering, Taehyun didn't speak much like him. He focused on defeating the monsters and sprinting to the finish line. In no time, he surpassed Kang Chul. Wherever Taehyun went, the level B monsters were slain. From his determined gaze, one could see his unwavering resolve. Perhaps it was because he didn't want to lose a year's worth of training fee that he took the competition so seriously. Once he passed these last monsters, the finish line would be within reach. Taehyun began his attack on the 3 nearest monsters. It's unclear what skill he applied, but when Taehyun darted past one, all 3 monsters fell dead. The monsters kept streaming out. The ones appearing later were larger and more formidable than the ones at the beginning, but that didn't deter Taehyun. Despite his far inferior physical strength compared to the muscle-bound assassin, these monsters weren't much of a concern for Taehyun. In the outside world, he had faced much more terrifying adversaries. The key here was speed and seizing the right moment. Now at the final hurdle before Taehyun stood a group of multi-eyed monsters with sharp fangs. Typically, by the time anyone reaches this stage, they are usually exhausted and depleted. Kang Chul followed shortly behind, not far away. If he managed to kill the monsters and reach the finish line before Taehyun, then Taehyun would lose this round. It's unclear what Taehyun did to them, but everyone present, including Kang Chul, suddenly saw a purple haze envelop in the area. Perhaps they all thought Taehyun had been torn apart by the monsters. However, what Kang Chul saw shocked him to the core. It seemed like everything turned to stone. He stood there, gaping in disbelief at the high school students surrounded by the monsters. The audience outside couldn't contain their anticipation, their eyes wide with expectation, waiting for a spectacular finale to see the ultimate result. Taehyun's cousin, Jae-young, was particularly enthusiastic, holding up a cheering sign with touching words, "I believe in you." With such a massive fan base, victory was inevitable. As the light faded, leaving only Kang Chul on the path to victory, Taehyun didn't end it immediately. Instead, he wanted to taunt him a bit, saying, "So Kang Chul, you think you're strong, huh? You sound impressive. But I told you before, you're weak, couldn't handle the bet, huh? Now, what's next? I only plan to train here for a month to save money, but thanks a lot for generously offering me another 11 months. Now pay up and get out." Thus, Taehyun emerged victorious, humiliating Kang Chul and making him too ashamed to show his face around here again. From now on, he probably won't dare to confront anyone here anymore. But let him go in the blink of an eye. The long-awaited day has come. At a large stadium, helicopters have brought representatives of the association to announce that. Hello everyone, today marks the 30th day since the announcement of the recruitment changes. Today we will hold the test for the awakened ones. That's why everyone is here to see how the chosen awakened ones will demonstrate their skills. The reporters and the program hosts from the helicopter are heating up the atmosphere, making it extremely lively. Standing on the ground and talking won't cut it. Huh. The helicopter's rotor is making his hair messy, as if it's about to blow everything below away. That must look cooler that way. Ladies and gentlemen, the Awaken Association has changed the test this time, allowing adolescents to participate as well. Many people from all over the country have rushed here to the association's test site, especially those who have been anticipated by so many. Allow me to introduce, firstly, with fists of steel, seemingly unmatched in close combat, Mr. Han Jung-wook, Grade A. Secondly, a monk with excellent combat skills. Even Grade S hunters find it challenging to defeat him, Mage Lee Jai-san, Grade A, Hail, Hail. Thirdly, dubbed as the unbeatable in Busan, Lightning Striker Yoon Bak, Grade S, Hail, Hail. Handsome indeed, oh my, the lightning bolts are top-notch. The crowd is excited upon hearing the remarkable introductions of these fellows.
Thank you, friends, for joining us on this exciting adventure in the world of Manhwa in today's Manhwa recap. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on every exciting episode.